What's up everyone, and here we go with another mining rig. So for this mining rig I decided to get two different types of GPUs because I could not find all of them at the same brand. So I decided to go with 3 Power Color Fighter Edition AMD Ryzen RX 6600 XT, and for the other 3 I decided to go with Asus. For power supply, as always, 1300 watt Gold Plus by EVGA. Motherboard, this time I went full AMD, so motherboard and CPU are all AMD. This is Tough Gaming A520 with Wi-Fi. And for fans, I went 3 RGB fan, 3 non-RGB fan, doesn't really matter. For the CPU, the AMD Ryzen 3 3200G with VEGA graphic. Some thermal paste, you don't really need it because the cooler comes with thermal paste. SSD this time 240GB inland. Previously I used 120, you can use 120, it really doesn't matter. 240GB, I can add a little bit more virtual memory. For the memory, again Ripjaws V by the G.Skill, 16GB of dual channel memory. Overall, I really like this rig, and let's talk about it. Some other things that I got was the riser and the splitter. The risers that I use for this rig are the 8 capacitors one. If you're interested in knowing why 8 capacitor riser, definitely check out my other videos, and why not to use just 3 capacitor risers. And the splitter, it's a PCIe 1 to 4 adapter, which you can find it easily online. Moving on, I definitely recommend you overclocking these GPUs because the hash rate are 28 without overclock, and with overclock they are 32 and way more power efficient. You can overclock them with MSI Afterburner, which if you don't know how, you can find it in my other videos, but I really recommend overclocking it with the AMD Ryzen software, as it has all of the tools and it is compatible with these GPUs that you can easily overclock without having a problem and having a stable system. If you're interested in overclocking with AMD Ryzen software, check out my other videos. Talking about the cost to build this mining rig, we have 3 RX 6600 XT by Power Color, which the unit price for each of them is $540. 3 of them after tax, we can say about $1,733. But you have to keep in mind, this is the original price from Micro Center, Best Buy, Newegg. But if you can't find one, the price is a little bit more in eBay, OfferUp and other places. 3 more RX 6600 that I got by Asus. This one is a little bit cheaper as the unit price is $500. After tax, 3 of them $1,600. The RAM, I went with G.Skill Ripjaws 16GB. Definitely you don't need both of the stick, as the recommended memory that you need for mining rig is 8GB, and 4GB is not good, 8GB is good, 16GB is too much. So you can save one of the memory and use it for your next rig. For motherboard, this time, since it is AMD, I decided to go with the Tough Gaming A521 because Tough Gaming is better as the capacitors are higher rated and they can control the temperature better, and you don't have to worry about it getting too hot. It also has Wi-Fi with this one, so you don't need an additional Wi-Fi adapter, and you don't need an additional PCI port to connect your Wi-Fi adapter, since USB adapters are not good, and if you run them 24/7 it will melt. So this is good that it already have a Wi-Fi adapter. The Wi-Fi speed that you're getting with the motherboard maybe not fast because it's 50 megabyte per second. However, 50 megabyte per second for mining is more than too much, because you're not trying to stream anything 4K or do gaming. You're just mining, and for mining 20 gigabyte per second is good enough. And the price we can see is $110. For the CPU, I went with AMD Ryzen 3 3200G at the price of $150 if you can find one. And this one has VEGA 8 graphic, and having VEGA 8 graphic is good because you can load the windows and also get video output with the VEGA graphic through this CPU, and you don't have to make one of your GPUs into a primary GPU, and they all can be dedicated GPU. You may think, why doing this? Because once you have an integrated graphic with your CPU, your windows can be loaded with the CPU and you can get the video output with the CPU. And all of your GPUs, then they can be overclocked to maximum and they can mine at full capacity. Because if you use one of your GPUs as your main or primary GPU to get video output, then you are not able to fully overclock that one, and then your system will crash and crash and crash, making it not being efficient. I tried it before and believe me, that's not good. Just get an integrated graphic. However, if you can't find the Ryzen 3 and you want to build an AMD PC, definitely go with the Athlon 200GE, which is about $80, or 3000G, which is $100. But if you can't find Ryzen 3 3200G, or you don't like the Athlon 200GE or 3000G, then check out my other videos where I have a AMD rig of 6600 XT with an Intel i3 10105, which has an integrated graphic of UHD 730. That one is about the same price, maybe a little bit less than this rig, and everything works perfect. For the SSD, you can go, I went with 240GB, you can go with 128GB at price of $23, because you need like 30GB of it for Windows and the rest of it for virtual memory. 6 fans, you can get anything you want, even cheaper one. For me it costed about $40. Risers, the 8 capacitors one are $50, which I use. 6 riser 3 capacitors one are $40, but I don't recommend using the 3 capacitor one. Check out my video if you don't know why. For the splitter, you need a 1 to 4 PCIe Express riser card, which costs about $25. Power supply, you need an EVGA Supernova 1300 Gold Plus, which I use, $224. I will tell you why in a bit. For the rig, I made my own rig frame for a price of $8 out of wood, plus the paint and everything. I really don't like the metal frames because they are conductive, and they once you place a hot GPU on them, it will get hot, and then your GPUs, they all will get hot and you have problems. But if you use wood dissipates heat very fast, and then you don't have any problem. Right here you can see the mining rig frame that I built myself out of wood. You can see it looks really nice, and if you're interested in building something like this, definitely check out my video where I show how to build the mining rig with wood and what you need for it. And again, the price for it is between $8 to $10 depending on your location. This one you can see here, it's my previous rig, and as you saw, it has the Intel CPU and an Intel motherboard with 4 RX 6600, the regular one, not the XT one, and this one needs the Wi-Fi card, as you can see. If you're interested in building a 4 GPU rig, check out my other video for it. Moving on, I've seen some people saying in comment, and also some of my friends saying that they're using a 750 watt or an 850 watt or even 1000 watt power supply with 6 GPUs, and I really don't know why they're doing it. The calculation is very simple even if you do it by hand, and right now in today there are many different calculators online that they're reliable and they calculate your mining rig power that you need. For example, this website is very reliable and I use it, and we can see right here, for the CPU I put one AMD Ryzen 3 3000G Memory, as I said, I'm using one of these stick, 8 GB. For the videos, 4600 XT, which in our case 3 of them by Asus and 3 of them by the power color. I set my overclocking setting, which is the memory clock, which I put for the Asus one on 2246 MHz, and for the power color one for 2258 MHz. We have one SATA SSD and regular mouse and keyboard. We also have 6 riser, which we can consider similar to a USB 3 since they drain almost as much as a USB 3. We have 6 120mm fan, and for my monitor, one monitor LED 27-inch, which this one really doesn't matter. For the computer utilization, we are utilizing it 24/7, and I put it on game on. What's game on mean? Game on or video editing or 3D rendering time, I put on 24/7, and this means that you're using your GPU near the maximum capacity. And people who game with their GPUs, they're using and they're putting load on their GPU. But we are mining with it and we are putting even more load, and we're using the maximum capacity that our GPU has and putting 100% load on it in order to get the maximum hash rate with overclock. So 24/7. We can see the minimum wattage that we need is 1177 watt, and it is recommended to use at least 1200. And right here we can see that people who say that they're using an 850 or 750, yes, it works, but after a while you can see that your graphic cards are cooked and they're unusable, and one day you wake up and your rig is on fire. I've seen people cooking their graphic cards. I've seen people burning their risers, burning their motherboard. That's not good. So be safe. And you can definitely get away with the 1200 watt, but if you're going with the 1200 watt, definitely you need platinum or a titanium power supply. But for me, I decided to go with the Gold Plus, which is a little bit cheaper, but I went with the 1300 Gold Plus, and since I'm going with Gold Plus, I get the 1300, so I have a little bit more gap and I don't have to use the maximum capacity of the power supply, and this way it's good. My location power is 30 cents per kilowatt, and roughly for district it takes me $3,500 per year in electricity, which is too much. Maybe in your location it is less. Talking about how much you make with this GPU, if you are mining with EVGA ETH, you can see that you're getting $1.52 without electricity. But myself, I use 2 miners, and the hash rate overclock I get with this GPU is 32, sometimes 33, 32, around there. I get 158, 42 cents electricity. My profit is $1.16. Now we can calculate. We have 6 of them, and but $1.16 right now is because BTC price dropped. Same with Ethereum price, and that's why. Because right now is January 8, 2022, and the price dropped. Once the price goes up, because you have Ethereum, you don't have to sell yours at this price. You can sell yours when BTC is 50,000, when it's 60,000, 70,000, 80,000. And when BTC is 80,000, then Ethereum is higher. So you don't have to sell it at this price. It's your choice. But I will not use this one because estimately you make $2 per day, because this price is with today's price, and once you add up what you get every day throughout the month and divide by 30, you can see that your average is $2. So 2 times 6 is 12, so you get $12 per day with this rig, times 30, you get $360 per month. And we said that our GPU cost, our mining rig cost about $4,033 divided by 360. So with today's price, and it takes about 11 months to break even. Minimum, I think it takes you 7 to 8 months to break even, maximum 12 months or 1 year. These GPUs work for 2 to 3 years, so after 1 year maximum you break even, and after that you're on profit and you're making money. And I'm talking about my location because electricity cost is more. Your location, maybe electricity is cheap and you break even faster. Overall, if you have any question about this mining rig, definitely ask in comments. I'll respond. And thank you so much for watching this video, and have a great day.